Welcome to the Story Learning Podcast, regular doses of language learning tips and motivation to help you become fluent in any language. With me, Olly Richards. For language programs, books, free resources, and much more, visit StoryLearning.com.
Hello and welcome back to the show. Before we dive into today's question, just a very quick note for those of you who live in the UK. Now, I've just started up a brand new language event. It's going to take place in London, and it's going to be monthly at first. The very first one is going to be on Friday the 20th of November in London. And for more information about this, please go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/I will teach you a language. And there you'll get lots more information about it. The name of the event is Polyglot Pub, which when I can't take credit for the name. Actually, Richard Simcock came up with the name. And when I first heard it, I wasn't so sure about it. But I actually quite like it now, and it's memorable, right? So it's not a language exchange event. What it is a place where you can come and meet other people who are into language learning, come and make new friends, exchange ideas, hang out and have a drink, surround yourself with other people trying to do what you're doing. So again, that's Friday the 20th. For more information, please visit facebook.com/I will teach you a language. So let's get into today's question sent by email from Shanghai, and I'm very sorry if I mispronounced the name. In fact, I think I have. I think it's Shanghai. It's quite a long name, and I'm not so sure how to pronounce it. She says, Ollie, I want to ask you a question. How can I actually restart learning a language? In a nutshell, I haven't studied for about 3 months, and now I feel like I don't know how to get back into that condition. I even forgot the grammar, which I knew better than anyone now, and I'm also searching for different vocabulary, and there's no learning. So I think what she's saying is she's been learning a language for a while, but she's taken her foot, she's fallen off the horse, if you like. And for the last 3 months, she has not done anything, it sounds like. So how can you restart learning a language? And I'm sure all of you have had this experience of learning a bit of a language in the past and then just not keeping it up. So I think this is actually a lot simpler than you might think. For me, the main bit of advice for you is don't delay, don't overthink this. This is not rocket science. Just get back to studying straight away. Okay, you don't need to do any refresher course. You don't need to do anything differently to what you did before. Very simple. The only thing that's happened here is that you had a habit of studying and you've lost that habit. And the thing about habits is that habits are very, very hard to make, to form, but they're very, very easy to break. And this is what's happened here. The language itself is still inside your head. There's nothing, we don't, I know it feels like we forget stuff and we might lose a little bit of aptitude, and we might lose the ability to speak as clearly as we did before. Maybe we're not getting stuff as accurate when we speak, but I don't think we usually forget this stuff. It's still in there, in your head somewhere. So all you've got to do is get back to your regular routines, get back to studying every day, and very, very quickly, I guarantee you will find your language returning to the level it was before. But I think the more that you think about it, and the more that you try to overcomplicate it, the more difficult it's going to be. Okay, so that's what I'd say. I just get back to it straight away. Don't worry about forgetting stuff. Just get back to it. I'm going to give you 2 questions which might help you focus on this. And these are questions that I've asked myself before when I'm getting back into studying a language after taking a long break. And in fact, I'm doing this at the moment because I haven't spoken any Cantonese for about a year because I was living in Egypt, and I've just now recently got back to learning Cantonese. And so these are the questions that I've been asking myself. So first of all, what can you do for only 15 minutes that would be very effective? All right, don't worry about a whole study routine. Pick one thing that if you did that thing for 15 minutes, it would be effective, you would learn and you'd make progress. And just start off by doing that one thing. I know sometimes when we've lost the habit of studying, it can feel like, it feels like a big thing, doesn't it, to get back into studying again. But actually, it's just getting over that hurdle. So pick one thing that you can do for 15 minutes that you think would be effective and do that. The second question is, think back to when you were learning this language before and think about what were you doing? How were you spending your time in the way that was most effective? Okay, so I'm not sure what language it is that you're learning, but it sounds like you got to a decent level before. You were studying effectively before. So what exactly was it that you were doing that was so effective? Was it studying a textbook? Was it speaking every day? Was it doing flashcards? Was it watching TV? What was it that you were doing that you think gave you the most progress in the language? And then once you've figured out what that is, simply go back and do exactly that again. This is something I think about all the time. How did I make the most progress in my languages? And in my case, in many cases, it was simply the times when I was speaking a lot, speaking regularly, 3 or 4 times a week. That was when I was really making progress. And so I'd simply say, right, I'm going to go and do that again. So think about those 2 questions. Okay, the first one again, what one thing can I do for 15 minutes? And then number 2, what was the most effective way that I studied in the past? And then pick one of those and just get started today. That's it. It's not any more difficult than that. So I hope that's helpful. If you'd like to ask me a question, please do. I'd love to get your voicemail questions. You can leave me a message by going to iwillteachyoualanguage.com/ask, and you can do that from your tablet, from your phone, anywhere you want. Now, I'd like to leave you with a cool resource on the topic of the show today, and this is actually an article by Tim Ferriss, and it's an old article. He wrote it almost, in fact, it was 8 years ago. But it's called How to Resurrect Your High School Spanish. And it's a short article, quick read, very cool, some nice ideas. I'm going to put a link to that in the show notes, which you can find at iwillteachyoualanguage.com/episode 62. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. And here at Story Learning, everything that I do is powered by stories, whether that's writing books, teaching lessons, crafting courses. My mission is to help everyone succeed at learning a new language through the power of story. And we now have comprehensive language courses in over 15 languages, from Spanish to French, Korean to Japanese, and across all levels from beginner to mastery. And you can take a 7-day free trial of any of these programs by visiting storylearning.com/courses. I've poured my heart and soul into creating these courses over the last 10 or so years, and we've helped tens of thousands of new students achieve their dreams of learning a new language, all through the power of story. So go ahead and take a free trial. There's no commitment. You can try out our method for free. See if this can also be the breakthrough for you that it's been for so many other people. storylearning.com/courses.